Plaintiff Lori Lindsay says she and the defendant's brother were friends with benefits, and Lori ended up having a child with him. Lori claims the defendant's brother is now deceased, and his family has doubts about paternity, so she petitioned the court for a DNA test. Defendant Daryl Thompson says if Lori's son is his biological nephew, Daryl wants to have a relationship with him and be in his life. However, Daryl can't move forward with their relationship until he knows the DNA test results.
All right, and we're here today for a DNA test to determine the paternity of your child?
Yes, sir.
All right, give me some background.
In August of 2006 is when I had met the defendant's brother, Terrence. I was working in a liquor store in Arizona. He had come into my store, and I was on the phone with my ex-husband, arguing, and I was crying, and, ex-husband wife stuff. He came over to me, he put his hand on my hand.
His brother?
His brother. He had put his hand on my hand and said, "Somebody so beautiful should not be this upset and crying." So I knew we had some sort of connection. I was in awe because he was paying attention to me, and I was just getting a divorce.
Saw that you were vulnerable.
I'm sorry?
Nothing, go ahead.
Okay. He had put his hand on my hand and said, "Somebody so beautiful should not be this upset and crying." So I knew we had some sort of connection. I was in awe because he was paying attention to me, and I was just getting a divorce.
Saw that you were vulnerable.
Plaintiff Lori Lindsay insists the defendant's deceased brother is her child's father, but the defendant has his doubts, so Lori petitioned the court for a paternity test.
Guys search women down who've recently divorced and are still sad.
Well, he charmed me. So for about 3 to 4 months, we had a friends with benefits type situation. The last benefit situation that we had together, he came to my house. He had sat down next to me on my couch, and he had put his hand on my leg, and I got like this jolt of fire energy, like it just like a lightning bolt went through me. So I knew something was gonna happen that night, okay? So anyway, within just a couple of days, I felt I was pregnant. I took a test and I was pregnant. So I contacted Terry and I said, "We're
How
pregnant."
many days later?
It was like only 4 or 5. So he was okay with it. Everything was cool. He was down with it. Then after a little bit, he started getting controlling on, "You're carrying my baby. Don't talk to this person. You can't do this. I smoke cigarettes."
Well, he certainly didn't want a relationship just with benefits anymore, I assume.
Right, exactly. But he didn't want any type of relationship either with that. He just wanted his son. So anyway, he got a bunch so controlling that I just cut off all ties with him. I had my son in June of 2007. My little sister was with me. She asked if she should contact Terry, and I said, okay. So he came to the hospital. He was in and out of the delivery room. They had to take him out a couple times because he was getting controlling and like loud and belligerent. But he was there to cut the umbilical cord. When my son was born, the umbilical cord was wrapped around his neck, and he was blue. He wasn't breathing too well. So the nurses immediately just took him, got him all cleaned up and good to go. And they came over and said, "Okay, who wants the son?" And Terrence said, "You had him for 8 months. It's my turn." So for 3 hours, he had my son, which is fine. He did stay in
his brother again, right?
His brother.
Go ahead.
So he did stay in the hospital with me that night. He said, "I'll do anything that I can to get my kid, even if that means I have to kill you." So
why didn't he want you to have the child or share in the life of the child?
He thought I was going to be a bad mother, I suppose. I'm not sure what he was thinking.
Okay, you never asked?
No,
you never said, "Why don't you want me to be a part of my child's life?"
Well, when he had threatened to kill me, he was escorted out of the hospital.
I know, but that's why I'm saying, even then, that's even more of a reason to find out why he didn't want you to be a part of the child's life.
I just cut all ties off, and I took his name off the birth certificate.
Just sounds odd that you don't want to know.
Very.
Why? What's wrong with me? Why don't you want me to raise our child? What are you talking about? You give me some background on this, and this is your brother, though, so tell me as much as you know. Where's your brother?
My brother's deceased.
Oh, sorry to hear that. When did
he was
he
killed
pass?
in a car accident.
When did he pass?
about 3 years ago,
Okay,
almost 4
sorry
years.
to hear that. What did you know of the relationship
I knew the relationship.
when they
I
started?
had never met Lindsay, but from my brother's point of view, she said that was his baby. Well, she said we wasn't for sure when the blood work wasn't done. So, and it was skeptical because we were never allowed access or liberty to him,
To who?
to Jacob, her son. Their
Okay,
son.
but what do you know of the delivery
Yeah, I know
and
my
the
brother was
threats
there.
and him not wanting her to be a part of the child's life? I mean, what do you
the
know
baby
about
was
that?
she was supposed to give the baby to my brother
Why?
because I guess she felt like her family wouldn't accept him, a biracial baby.
No, that's not what she's saying.
I know
She's
that's not
saying-
what she's saying.
Okay.
But
My
they
family's not racist, Your Honor.
They love him now.
Okay. Did they have a problem at any point?
No, they just didn't think that I should raise the child on my own.
So they thought it would be better to give to a man.
My family actually wanted me to give the baby up for adoption, and I said no.
Why is that?
Well, I moved to Arizona to be close to my father when he got sick. So when I found out that Jacob was a boy, I said I'm keeping him to carry on my daddy's last name.
All right. And we're here because why then?
I'm petitioning the court for a DNA
Right.
test. I came close to Daryl and his mom, and they had said that the best thing for Jake would be to try to receive Terrence's Social Security.
Ouch.
And that's the primary reason for
Well,
wanting
that
to get
and
paternity test?
he's not on his birth certificate,
Okay.
and
there
I
you go.
want to be close, and I want Jake to be close to his family on this side. I was selfish for doing what I did. I know I was wrong, and that's why I want to try to make it better now.
And you're going to change the name
I
on
wanna
the
change
birth
everything.
certificate. Okay.
He did
This
stay
is
in
his
the
brother again, right?
his brother.
Go ahead.
So he did stay in the hospital with me that night. He said, I'll do anything that I can to get my kid, even if that means I have to kill you. So
Why didn't he want you to have the child or share in the life of the child?
Plaintiff Lori Lindsay insists the defendant's deceased brother is her child's father. But the defendant has his doubts, so Lori petitioned the court for a paternity test.
And why hasn't the child been close to the family? She says she wants that to be the case.
Over the span of Jacob's life, he's 11 now. It's always been up and down. She'll let us talk to him for a minute, and then if she gets angry or out of control or on a binge,
Binge of
binge
what?
of what?
drinking, liquor
Okay.
store.
I worked in a liquor store. That doesn't mean I was drinking it.
I mean, I don't knock nobody for the sauce, but I've been on the phone and FaceTime with Jacob. He's, emotionally crying.
Did you ever have a problem with them spending time?
Well, they live in Texas. I live in Pennsylvania.
Have you ever denied them the
No.
opportunity?
No, but there's monetary situations that I can't get to Texas.
Right, but them paying for him to come hasn't been the
That's
case.
not even been
No
discussed.
offer has been made, and
Not at this time.
That's
financial
not true.
issues haven't been discussed. Have you even told them that, what you just told me? I'd like to have him spend more time with you all, but I can't afford
Yes,
to.
sir. Yes,
And what was
yes,
their
Your Honor.
response? Okay, or didn't respond? Yes, what are you saying to
No,
that?
yes, we offered, and we did let her know that if that is my brother's son, of course he's entitled to Social Security, some assistance. We don't have a problem with that. The problem just comes to just us being apart and making sure he's Terrence's son. It haven't never been verified, and just making sure that Jacob's well-being, mental well-being, is stable and suffice. I'm not here to say that she's a bad parent or anything, but there's just been some instances where I've been on the phone and things didn't seem too stable.
With her and the
And with
child.
Jacob, yeah.
Okay.
So, things been said about my brother that I thought that wasn't fair for a young child
her?
to have, a young child to have to hear those kind of things. And
She's
it's really
talked
just one side of the
negatively.
story.
She's talked negatively to
Yes.
her son about
His
his
father.
deceased father.
Yes. So I had a problem with that. It's had an impact on our family because we're denied.
The unfortunate part is that there are no grandparent or uncle rights. So it's
Right,
still,
exactly.
that was a Supreme Court case of grandparents' rights years ago, because people fought for that, thinking, and perhaps understandably so, and now that I'm a grandfather, I certainly feel that way, that they have access despite the parent not wanting. I don't like you, I don't like your mother, so I'm not letting my child go over there. Or the son is deceased or the father is deceased, and I don't like y'all. I don't like his mother, his grandmother. So now his grandmother can't see him. Grandmother sues, I'm gonna see my grandbaby. No, I should have access, I should. Court said no. There's no legal standing for you as a grandparent to have any authority over a child that is not yours. So it'll still be up to her. And ma'am, the family, if it's his family, you...
I have no problems.
All right. And so let's see the results. And we'll know now that you all won't have any problem. Now, who took the test?
My mother.
Okay. That's a lot
The
more,
grandmother.
lot closer in relation to be able to make that determination. And the DNA test indicates the relation is 99.98% that he is the father and he is the uncle. That's a good sight to see. I'm glad to see that. Good.
I want to say that I'm very happy and thankful and grateful that we are 99.9% part of the Thompson family, and this little boy is a lucky guy to have him and I as well in his life.
We love you. We always have. We always kind of in our heart. And it's a lot of people waiting to celebrate him and bless him.
I want to say that I'm happy to be here. And I was actually pretty nervous coming here today because it's my first time on a plane. Very first time on a plane. And that I love these two very much. And that I will for the rest of my life.
Oh, Jake. Amen.